Thank you for coming and watching once again our videos. Richard Lehwald, BioEnergy Wellness Care, and Niels, our guest here today, who's quite an interesting man with lots of interesting experiences and wisdom. And we're always talking and offering people insight into what can keep yourself healthy. Because today's world, that is becoming more and more of a challenge. We're being threatened by so many different things, and a lot of things are happening in the invisible part as well with all the energies. So we have to optimize our bodies. This is like the home that carries us through this life if we want to be minimize the effect of disease. And disease is basically out of balance. So we got to maintain good balance. And I think that your line of products really addresses a big part of the body, and good health begins also in the gut. Everything is linked to the gut. So anyways, Niels, take it away. Talk about what you've been doing. How did you get into this business of developing your products? What piqued your interest?
Thank you for having me, Richard. I'm so honored about this opportunity to speak to your audience. What tricked me into this is many years ago, I was dealing in wastewater and processed water. And at that time, it was clear that you can only clean something like water after use to a certain extent. But to discharge the water, you will need to polish it to make it cleaner. One of the ways to do it was to extract bacteria from that water and put it back again. It was quite a complicated and expensive way, but as legislation progresses, that was the only way. So I was then introduced to a Japanese technology who could broaden that. That means you could use one product for more options. And that's how I started with it, because I fall in love with that product. I actually started to sell it in Germany and was quite successful with that product until I could see that we need to broaden it. And before you can do that, you actually have to understand what it is you're dealing with to break it down into its purest component and then build it up again. So what happened is actually we designed this product here called Vita Biosa Original. Original means it is actually a fermentation, it's a 3-step fermentation which I had to develop because we use bacteria from different kind of the probiotic spectrum. So, and then we add Hildegard von Bingen adaptogen into the product. Hildegard von Bingen was, I think you can recall her, was the mother of herbal medicine from the 1600 in Germany. That is basically this problem, and it was not actually designed for the human, but this product was designed for agriculture, for livestock, because when antibiotics was banned, and when you give livestock antibiotic, it's called growth hormone. So that couldn't be used in Europe, so they looked for something different and really found out that nature had the answer for that.
Always. Yeah.
And next step was, what is good enough for my cow is maybe good enough for me. And that's how we got into the human sector. So today we have this product for the human, and we have it with a different kind of labels. And then we from there develop different products. So one of my favors here in product is actually this one, the original one. Another favor we have developed over time is actually the Chaga product. And it basically where you use and you ferment Chaga. And using fermentation as the extraction media, then you actually have a green media without any strings attached to the problem. We can extract product different way. We can extract it by heat, then you change the chemical composition. Or we can extract by chemicals. Then you actually add chemical traces to the surface of the medium. So if you want a product that is healthy and without strange attacks, then you need to take this into consideration.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about what is Chaga.
Chaga is actually a very interesting mushroom, calling the king of mushroom. It's grown up, the Chaga we get is actually grown up in the very north of Quebec, and it's grown on birch tree, and it's actually a kind of a cancer from the birch tree. When the birch tree up in that north, in the cold climate, are suffocated in some way, or not quite suffocated, but have a broken branch or so on, then this mushroom develop. And it can grow for years. It takes so many years to develop because of the climate. And then we can harvest it, and then we can chop it down, and we can ferment it. And this have an abundance of relevant ingredients, and which is, let me say, it's good for people who are on a special diet. That's how we sell it, and that is what is used for people on a special diet, vegans, and so on. It have a lot of vitamins. It have even the D vitamin. It have the D2 vitamin, which is a quite special vitamin because it's not constant, but it actually reads the body's need for light. So it can grow and it can descend. That's a very special vitamin, which you can only get from outside, and the most abundant resource is actually Chaga. So if you are to say we need D vitamin for this, or we need this, consider a D2 vitamin.
So a lot of people have issues nowadays with gluten, which is really just a big problem with the digestive. Can this formula be very helpful for people who are dealing with gluten intolerance?
All the product have something in common. All our products have something in common. Chaga is targeting, as I say, people with that, but the basic of each problem is dealing with alleviating sensitivities. It's a food, so we cannot appraise it. And I don't want to appraise my product, but from what we know also 22 years now, that is how it actually affects the body. But it doesn't matter if you take Chaga and if you take this one, honey, that's for kids and toddlers and babies who don't like the acid taste.
Yes.
Then this is fermented on pure honey from the north, only on honey from the north of Alberta, and it's collected from bees who are grown up on Biosa, and now they are collecting the honey for Biosa. So this is a pure product and very, very delicious product, but basically for kids, to have kids stabilize their gut and their emotional brain.
So as you know, it's nature's own processes.
All of them. It's what's going on in your gut.
Yes.
It's just what nature gave us.
Right.
We cannot work with anything else, because then we try to change something.
So the most powerful things that Hippocrates said, let food be your medicine and medicine be your food.
Yeah.
Right. So we've got to get back to the roots of these things.
And still move forward.
Yes, absolutely.
So we can learn from nature, and that is what we have done here. We have a very new product coming out, and I'm very proud to say that's a milk thistle. It's actually the seed from the milk thistle. And why fermented? It came out of nowhere, but we were approached by a scientist on McMaster University who was looking into extraction as a method or technique. And he came to us and said, but you have a very pure technique. I've seen it on Chaga. Can we use it for extraction of the seed of the missile? It's basically flavonoids, and it's basically nanoparticle or silver nanoparticles, which we cannot have those coated or changed in the chemical formulation. So we did a lot of testing, and he helped us doing the formulation, and here you have it. It's actually designed, milk thistle is actually designed for people with liver problem, and to some extent all people have it.
Absolutely.
And
it's the biggest filter in your body. So,
basically all wish to have a well-functioning liver, because that means that you have longevity, you
Yes.
are younger for longer. Your organs is not degrading or oxidizing.
So as I say, the liver is involved in every metabolic function of the body.
Every organ is
Yes.
actually dictated by the liver.
Yes.
If the liver works, the rest will work quite well.
Right.
So metabolism, or what happens in the body, and before we went on the show, you mentioned probiotic is a probiotic. And yes, you can say it's a probiotic, but it's actually more than a probiotic. When I talk about probiotic, then you normally think pills and capsule. It's actually a metaphor. Think about that you have a condition and which have developed over years, and now you go down and buy a pill and capsule and tomorrow it's gone. That is not going to happen, simply. So these products are not just probiotic but they are living probiotic. I refer to them as a microbiome enhancer or microbiome supporter, because it supports the microbiome from the very time, from the mouth, down the throat, down the esophagus or eating tube, the stomach. And that's the biggest problem with human, with people, with that causes dogs and cats as well. That's the stomach acid. The stomach acid is not calibrated. And if that's not okay, you cannot break down the food correctly. You cannot shield the body for intruders correctly. And then, but because we have all these ingredients through the fermentation, that means the digestive enzymes, we have the vitamins here, we have the trace mineral ready to be absorbed in the small intestine. So this product actually is enhancing the microbiome, which is already there. And then they cannot build new microbiome, but they can enhance the functional efficient of the biome already there. I will not go into, it would take too much to go into the details here, but you have to believe that if you wish to build, then use your money wisely. Don't use it on a pill, don't use it on a capsule, but use the money wisely. Use product which have secondary metabolites who can address the capillaries, who can address the villi right away. And this is the only product on the market who can do that. So if you want to get a little bit more advanced in what you're doing, consider those products. It's not because they are more expensive, they are even not more cheaper, but they will do the job. It will take a little bit time. So here it comes, and here we come to energy. Because one of the first things people ask me, that is, what do I feel and when do I feel it? It's so individual. But one of the first things one will feel is more energy. And that's you feel energy, energy, and energy. And you can only have energy if you can convert the food.
So life gives life, always. So
but you can only convert food if you can break it down.
Right.
That release energy to be built up again in the smaller intestines. That is the job of the enzyme and the digestive enzyme and their cofactors. Those are already here in that bottle. So you don't need to buy them extra, so they come in the amount needed to break that piece of broccoli or that piece of meat, cauliflower, or that meat. It's already there. So people will feel energy. They will feel, if they have reflux, they will feel that gone quite quickly. But you need energy, and that is a breaking down process, and you need to reproduce all your proteins, rebuild them, and those products will rebuild those proteins already, and that is demanding a little bit energy. So that's why you have to eat healthy as much as you can. Then you get that combination together with this product.
Wow.
Can I talk about my passion?
Absolutely, because we need to share. I share my passion all the time, so share your passion.
Yeah, my passion is actually honeybees. And I'm happy that we have, for years ago, had organic honeybee keepers trying to fight something called colony collapse disease. That means the honeybees is disappearing by the number, and it's believed to be, of course, agricultural pollution, and for sure that is one of the reasons. But what we see is if you use smoke as an imker to stunt your bees so you can work with the beehives, that actually is an enormous problem. It, in my vocabulary, is bee cruelty. Pure bee cruelty. So
that's a practice that's been ongoing for a long time.
Yeah, but
smoking the bees.
Exactly, but you can reduce it, and you will see the difference. You can, instead of smoke, you can spray the bees from upside with this one, just one or two shots, and the bees will dance happy forever after. So, if I'm moving on our bee product, which is actually this one, I will ask young people, because we put a sticker on it, just to look for the sticker. When they go and buy something, honey and so on, they have to ask down the shop, is it cruel-free or not cruel-free? So product with honey with this little sticker means the product is cruel-free. It's something which young people can do. It's just ask a question. Do I want honeybee who have been cruel or not cruel? So that's my passion. So this product can be used in many more configurations. It's used on skin problems, acne. It's used on burns. If you have up to 3rd-degree burns, it can actually heal the skin extremely quickly. If you have wrinkled skin, because you work with moisture, just put it on and the skin will rejuvenate itself extremely quickly.
Any of the products you could use in that application? Good.
This product I use against people with allergies, sensitivities, all kinds. That can be gluten, that can be celiac, or pollen sensitive. If you put that in a little, and it's been tested as completely safe, so you can actually spray it in your eyes if you have problem with the eyes.
Wow.
And it clears up the eyes forever. So if people, instead of go and spray every 8 hours and so on, and say, now we have to have this chemical because I'm irritated in my eyes. I know it by experience. Then just spray it. That's it. You can put it in the ear, and if a kid have a little ear problem or an infection, just put it in the ear. And
this
it
is
will
like
eat the infection.
This is recreating more harmony in life, right? We're working with nature. We're supposed to be in harmony with nature, and here it's so simple to create more of a harmonious environment.
You're so right. I love the way you express it, because harmony, balance is the name of the game.
Absolutely.
I can tell you that if it's not what they can do for different kind of infection in the body, but these products, they are so intelligent, but they cannot say, oh, he have an allergy or he have a digestive problem. They just, through their intelligence and communication, locate what is the problem, what environment is in work, and then they start to repair the environment. So they don't repair what somebody will say the sensitivity or the disease. No matter where in the body, they will start to attack the environment, correct the environment. If the environment is correct, the rest will fall into place. That's the same with the liver. If the liver is working, the rest will fall into place.
You know, it's very interesting because, I mean, the discussion between Pasteur, Dejean, Bernard, you know, how they were...
Claude Bernard.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that it's all about the milieu, right?
Yeah,
it's the environment that we create.
That is Claude Bernard, and those two had that discussion before Pasteur he died, and he actually acknowledged it was environment or milieu, as you say.
Yes.
And that is where we are.
Yeah, wow. That's amazing. You know, we have the answers, and they exist in nature. We need to, once again, live and recreate harmony, reconnect with nature. Everything is there, created for our benefit, but somehow people never seem to be just happy with what's already in existence. Of course, everything is all about the money, so you can't patent nature, so then they take things and they say, look what we've created, and then they chemicalize it, artificial products, because it's money that talks, right? And we get trapped into that thinking because as consumers, again, I always say in the word consumer is the word con. I always mean con. So you have to be careful. Like, listen, how does this information resonate with you? You know, I think for me, it's, again, everything is being energy. When I listen to you speak, this totally 100% makes sense to me, and this is the information that I'd like to present to people and communicate. You know, we have all the answers, and the answers is everything is being energy, and if the energy works for us, then we can have more energy. All the cells do what? They heal, repair, rejuvenate, and this is an ongoing process. So who knows how far we can go and be healthy. So it's about longevity with quality, not longevity, which you see with most people. What happens? The average person at 65 is on 5 to 10 medications. At 70 to 80, they're on 10 to 20 medications. So every medication has an average of 65 side effects. So let's just go back what Hippocrates brought out: let food be your medicine and medicine be your food. So I want to thank you very much for being here, so we can share this with the public.
Can before we close this connection here, I about medicine, I'm often asked, what about we are on medicine? And normally there is, with a natural product on food, there's no interaction with medicine. You take the medicine and then you can take your food. So normally there's no interaction. And the same is here, but there is a little interaction. I have to be honest, so if you are on medication, and unfortunately so many million people in North America are on some sort of medication, now even liver medication daily. What happens here is, if you take this and you encourage the microbiome to function better, create energy, that means that medication, be aware, will be more potent, it will be more effective. So if you start on this, just watch out, not in a negative sense, but just be aware if you feel that your medicine is working. Instead of taking 5 pills a day, you may be better help not to go into conflict with anybody, to take perhaps 3.
Right.
So there is a gain from doing this, and this have nothing to do with the medicine or anything. It have just something to do that the body is starting to fall into place and utilize what's come through the mouth is being turned over, and that goes for medicine as well. It turned over more correctly. So if you take medicine for gut bacteria, then I can say, yeah, but this will heal gut bacteria more effectively.
Yeah.
If
the whole microbiome gets restored,
and so on, so on, so on. Yeah, it will. There is a little, if I can finish up, and then you can cut and do afterwards. But there is a little thing. Now we have in COVID-19 time, and we can have all our opinions about that, and that's good. We all can debate it, because the issue is real. But what is equal real is that virus and other pathogen bacteria, or viruses, not bacteria, but zoonotic, but all these is actually docking in the morning. That's why I suggest taking it in the morning just before breakfast, and then switch it to heal your oral cavity, but then swallow it slowly.
Right.
And the reason for swallow slowly is not to be funny. It's actually have a reason, because these viruses and pathogenic bacteria or bacteria, they dock in the upper part of the throat, and they sit there in the morning. And just after you have slept and you wake up, before you actually start your day, then that's where your energy is at the lowest. And that is what they use, these bacteria. That means they have much more free access to the body. So if you can wash them out already in the morning, then you are really doing yourself a favor. To those people, if they want to try it, if they have a rusty throat in the morning, oh, I can feel something coming, just try it.
Wow, thank you.
When you see the result.
Yeah, so it's all about really restoring balance, immune system, our own immune system when we get a hold of it. So many people today, unfortunately, are living in fear. When they're in fear, it freezes them up. Hey, let's change that from fear and let's feel free again. We need that whole switch in the head, right? Because it's a program that we run. We're always thinking, you know, the boogeyman is going to get me. That whatever virus, you know, is chasing me all over, and so I'm trying to protect masks, whatever, you know.
And he will.
Yeah.
And I can promise you 100% he will. If you think that, he will.
Absolutely.
If you can think it,
it's what you attract energetically.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why you need the energy, you need the clearance to put the energy to work in the body, to put the signal up to your brain through the vagus nerve, and then life changes.
Yes.
If you can be happy in what you are doing, you will be prosperous.
Yes.
If you can live a life without severely being impacted by diseases or energy or allergies and whatever, then you can really live a fulfilled life and be happy, say, okay, I lived my life.
Right.
Think about coming to the conclusion, I lived my life, I was happy, it was a good life. Think about it. Today it's possible, but only a few people come to that conclusion.
Yes.
And everybody should come to that conclusion. But it's not for everybody today.
Well,
you can do a change.
Yeah.
And I can help you.
Yes. Well, so I always say, be the change you want it to be. But now just bringing that again, that whole concept in balance. And I trust that with what we've shared with people, because I'm all about sharing information, different things come, make sense, it needs to get out, and you know, I come from the heart, I'm sure you are coming from the heart, what you want people to know, bring solutions, and people can be happy again, you know, it's really a good objective to have.
You can do a great job, and I can help you doing a great job, but it actually boils down to people sit down and think a bit higher. If they cannot use what I'm saying, then they can take a chair and take it out in the garden or in the forest, sit down, just look at a tree and think about how amazing this tree actually is. It's standing there, it can do nothing else, but it is as happy as it can be, but it has to accept what is coming its way. So if you can do that, then you will automatically start to think a step higher. And when that thinking kicks in, then you are on the way to happiness. I can promise you that. So if people will do that little stunt, just take the kit, say, let's go out in the forest, go out in the garden, let's sit for 5 minutes and think about that tree being a tree, and it can be nothing else as a happy tree.
All right. Thank you. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And now what we're going to do is we're also going to feature these products, and we're going to test them energetically. And hey, these are living products. So anything that's alive has got energy, and we'll watch this in the next sequence of this video, and we'll share that once again. We have the answers right here. Thank you, Niels.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure.